What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Real Men Talk. I am so excited, guys. We have got a legend on here with us, Randy Bailey. If you have ever listened to The Bone, if you are local, you know this voice. We're going to hear his testimony. We're going to hear all the awesome things that he's done, and we are so excited. We're going to get right into it on Real Men Talk.
Welcome to Real Men Talk, discussing the tough issues facing men and their families every day. Here are your hosts.
All right, guys, what is going on? I'm so excited today for you guys to hear from our guest, Randy Bailey. Randy, what is going on, man?
Hey, I'm just hanging out, glad to be on here, honored to be on Real Men Talk. This is going to be a really great time, you guys.
Yes, we are so excited to have you. Of course, we've got Kyler Sal, and we got our producer, Steve Seawright. What's going on, Steve?
What's up?
All right, so we're just gonna jump right into it. So give us a little rundown on how you even got started in the radio industry and how long you've been doing it.
In the radio industry, well, I was at the Art Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I was coming up on the end. We're about to get our degree and be unleashed out into the world. And one of my teachers, she was helping us with our resumes. And she was like, you guys don't have me and my roommate. You guys don't have a lot of industry stuff for your resume when you leave here. Because we were getting degrees in music business and video. And She's like, I've got a friend who owes me a favor. He works at a radio station here in town. So I'm going to call him. So boom, I had a part-time job at a radio station in a major market in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. And that was my first job in radio. And I didn't want to be in radio, not at all. It wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to be a rock star, to be honest. And
I can see that.
That was my goal, and so I didn't take it seriously. Really, I liked it. It was cool. They wanted me to stay. When I graduated, I left and went back home to Arkansas. And I didn't really take it that seriously. And then, well, once I got back home, my options kind of, some things happened at home. And I was stuck there in Arkansas. Not a lot of things happening in the music business in a little town in Northeast Arkansas. So I decided to jump in and do plan B or plan C and try radio to keep doing it. And man, it's been a long time. It's been, let's see, like 33 years now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. About 33 years I've been in radio.
Time flies when you're having fun, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
cool. And now you're everywhere. Every time you see any kind of event, you see the face of Randy Bailey, the face of the bone. And I don't know if they really classify you as the face of the bone, but I do, and so, dude, it's awesome. It's awesome to see you. Give me some of the coolest things that you've done since you've been in radio.
Well, what's neat is it's the connection with people that I love, and that's what keeps me doing it forever. You'll run into somebody at an event or something, and they'll say, "Hey, man, I grew up listening to you," or this was a song you played for my little girl's first day of school, and now she's graduating or something. It makes you feel old real fast, but it's a really special thing too. That connection that we have with our listeners, and we get to do all kinds of fun things. We do events. We are doing concerts and sporting events and all that kind of stuff. And it's been a great life in radio. I love it so much. I'm glad that I chose plan B or C, like I said, and jumped in here, 100% and decided that's what I was going to do. And, at first it wasn't something I didn't know or really think about the impact that I would be having on people who were listening. Some people along the way helped show me that. And because when I first got started, it was all about me. And that's where my life was at the time. When I was young and it was in my early 20s, it was all about me. And I really didn't have a relationship with the Lord. My dad's family was Pentecostal. My mom's family, not so much. One of my mom's cousins was a Baptist preacher. So if we went to church, we went to his church just because of family. And but it wasn't something we did much. So I didn't have a relationship with God. And my life got down a really scary road as the years progressed. I mean, I was having a great time on the radio. I was having fun. I was learning. I was getting better. But my focus wasn't there. It had nothing to do with a relationship with Christ whatsoever. And so I was just wild. And one thing leads to another. And I am a drug addict, a drug dealer, a bad person. I'm an adulterer. I'm doing a lot of bad things that you shouldn't do. And I'm not even thinking about what it's doing to everyone around me because, addiction, once that hits, it's all about that. It's all about feeding that. And you don't think about what it's doing to people around you. And so that's where my life was. I guess you could say I worship my job more than anything because it was nothing for me to just spend all day, all night at my work. I was going nowhere, and I was just a terrible person, terrible human being, nobody that I would like to be around. And one thing led to another, and the addiction took my job, took my family, took everything from me. I had no real friends, so when they scattered, who cared? I found myself sitting in my apartment in West Plains, Missouri. This was in 2000, and in the summer of 2000. And I'm sitting there. I have nothing, no job, no friends. My family's gone. I got a divorce. My relationship with my little girl was little to none. And I sat and I thought, the voices, the enemy will put these thoughts in your head to just go ahead and end it. Look where your life is. You're nothing. You're nothing. You're never going to do anything else with your life. You're never going to be anything. Your life is over. You might as well go ahead and end it. So I got a loaded gun and I'm about to pull the trigger. And then something I never really, I would try to pray sometimes, but I never really felt like I had a connection with the Lord. So before I pulled the trigger, I said, Lord, if you are who you say you are, then I want to hear from you. Otherwise, I'm done. And I heard the voice of the Lord say, Randy. And I don't know about you guys, but when the Lord talks to me, he rarely calls me by my name. He's done it a few times, but usually it's like my son, or you'll hear what you're asking about. But he said, I have not yet begun to show you what I can do for you. If you turn your life over to me, try it, and I will give you so much more. 3 days later, I get a call from Poplar Bluff, Missouri, Zimmer Radio. And a friend of mine who knew somebody let him know I was looking. And they said, why don't you come to Poplar Bluff and start working here? June of 2000, 3 days after I almost ended everything. I decided to turn my life over to Christ. And it hasn't been perfect. There have been bumps in the road. But job, family, love, and a new way of looking at life, a new way that I could use the job I have to be a servant of the Lord. Then you start to look at life a little different. Then you start to look, your perspective changes about this job. Not long after I got saved, and I started going to Palace of Praise. It was 9th and Cedar at the time. And so I'm in my studio, and there's a song that comes on, because I'm the rock and roll guy. And there's a song that comes on that's talking about things that somebody who's a Christian probably shouldn't be jamming out to. And
Right.
I said to myself, should I be here now? Should I be doing this? Should I be on the radio even? And then I heard the voice again say, you are where I have put you. I have put you there for a season. You are to stay there until I will move you when it's time. And then I never looked back from there. So,
wow.
I've been here in Poplar Bluff for 23 years now. In June, it'll be 23 years. That's a long time to stay in one job in radio. That's for sure. That's another, that's God moving right there for sure.
Right. Yeah. What an amazing testimony. As a matter of fact, that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah. Everyone's got a story.
I knew you had it. That's right. I knew you had a story, but I had never heard it. And it's amazing that God has put you in a place, such as this. I always talk about, I'm a big rock and roll guy. I listen to a lot of Christian rock, Skillet and different things like that, Red.
Yeah.
And I always see, I've heard people complain about, like Skillet touring with secular bands. They'll tour with like Papa Roach and 3 Days Grace and people like that. And I'm like, man, what an amazing opportunity they have.
Yes.
What an amazing opportunity that they've got to do something unique that nobody else, the group of people that are there at that concert would not ever go to a Skillet concert or a Red concert, or one of those bands that, but they get to see an entire new audience, and I kind of equate that to kind of what you're doing. It is amazing that God has put you in the area that you're in, because you have a unique perspective that nobody else. People who listen to you. I go to the gym in the morning. It's 4:00 in the morning. There's people there. Yeah. And they got the bone on, you know what I'm saying? And so, people jamming out, and all that good stuff that would never listen to a Christian radio station, that would probably never step foot in a church, but they get to hear Randy Bailey, who is a man of God and who has influence that normally would not have an influence over their life.
Yeah, throughout my career, I have talked people down from the ledge on the phone. I have talked people out of suicide. I have led people to Christ. I have, helped people mend relationships. I have done. It is a ministry field where I'm at. It's a ministry field, and God puts people in different places at different times, and they put us here for a season, and I believe that. That's why I'm here. That it's a job. It's a great job, and I have so much fun doing it. I'm blessed beyond measure to be doing what I'm doing, but I'm blessed to have a spot where, like you said, I could talk to people who may not hear anything about the Lord, or may not hear how great someone's life can be, as a Christian. I know so many people say, well, I got to fix this, or I better, as soon as I get better at this, or as soon as I stop this, or as soon as you'll never stop all that stuff until you just surrender your life to the Lord. Then all that stuff happens, and it happens at His time and not ours. So I get a lot of opportunity to do that. It's all about, all of us are out there in the ministry field, no matter where we are in our jobs, in our groups, and wherever, at the gym or wherever you go. It's a ministry opportunity, and it's about, like we say, it's about those relationships. It's relationships that you have with people, and I'm blessed to have several thousand of my closest friends to visit with every day. So I try to do the best I can to be that guy on the radio, but also to let people know that I'm a Christian guy that's that guy on the radio. So I think that's very important now, for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's cool how you can personalize how you can personalize that. You mentioned you have 1,000 of your closest friends,
Yeah.
Listening to, and that's such a unique perspective when it's coming from, because you very rarely see faces until you're out of the studio, the events that you do and, and stuff like that. But to view that is a awesome perspective that you've got for your job.
Yeah, and it's neat. I mean, I even have, like, I'll have somebody will say, like, it's the little things that you'll say, Randy. You're positive. You make everything seem like your glass is half full all the time, and you'll say something like you're given the weather, and you say, it's sunny and 64, a beautiful day the Lord has made, and like some little something like that. You're not hearing that on most rock stations, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah. Well, and just the fact, just your influence, and I say this all the time. My listeners are probably tired of me saying it, but God has given every man a measure of influence. Yes. And it's built in our DNA. And whether you use it for the good or you use it for the bad, it's going to be used either way. Right. And so for you to be able to use that in such a unique way, just your sound through the radio, God can use that.
Yeah, and God is using it, and He has been, and I pray He continues to do that until He wants me to do something else. Every day I think about how blessed I am, and it's just something I never thought I would be. If you would have told me, like, in 1994 or whatever, that this would be me, I would not believe it, like, whatsoever. But
right.
I cherish the time I get to be on the air and being a positive influence in our community. And I'm always looking for new ways to do that, and some new ideas, and just some new approaches. Just
Yes.
anything. Every day, I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing, for sure.
All right, man, that's amazing. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the most amazing things that you've experienced, from your personal experience. So cool. We'll be right back right after this break.
This portion of Real Men Talk is brought to you by the Jeweler's Bench. They are a full-service jewelry store offering many styles of gold, silver, diamonds, and gemstones. And all jewelry repair is done in-house, so you can get your treasured pieces back as soon as possible. They are also a licensed Citizen Watch dealer. Make sure to visit them today at 1353 North Westwood or call 573-686-1522. Call or stop in and thank them for bringing you Real Men Talk.
If you want to join in the conversation, join us on Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. We gather with other like-minded Christian brothers to discuss hard-hitting topics that affect men on a daily basis and use a biblical approach to overcome common strongholds that affect our families. We show men the importance of being the spiritual leader of their home and what it means to be a real man in the eyes of Christ. Join us at the Palace of Praise, located at 1400 Herschel Best Boulevard in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. We meet in room 400 every Thursday. Come be a part of the discussion.
All right, everyone, calm down now. What kind of bomb do we have in there?
It looks like a Delta IV design, sir, using a Class 5 explosive.
Have you evacuated the area?
10 city blocks, sir.
We'd better deactivate this bomb immediately. How much time do we have?
We can't tell. The timer has no display.
What? Really?
Yes, that bomb can go off any second.
Well, yeah, that's true, but on the same token, it could take days for that bomb to go off.
Well, yeah.
I wish you would have told me that on the phone. I could have finished my dinner.
I'm sorry, sir, but I thought we should deal with this right away.
No, let's go home, get a good night's sleep, and come back tomorrow.
Sir, we don't know when that bomb will explode.
I'll deal with it later.
Many people have this same attitude towards their own death. We don't know when we will die. Jesus spent more time warning us about hell than he did telling us about heaven. Do you know where you will spend eternity? Another message from Lifeline Productions, located on the web at lifelinepro.com.
This portion of the Real Men Talk is brought to you by R.L. Persons Construction. For over 29 years, they have been a regional leader completing projects that include private, municipal, state, and federal agencies of all types. From mass grading, utilities, concrete of all types, to buildings both conventional and pre-engineered steel. You can expect excellence in all aspects of their finished work. Contact them today at 573-686-1323 and let them know you appreciate them bringing you Real Men Talk. If you have a question about this week's show, please drop us an email to realmen@palaceofpraise.com. We would love to hear from you. And now back to the show with Anthony and Kyler.
All right. Here we are. We're back with Randy Bailey. Man, I'm so excited that you're here on here with us, dude. What a great testimony and, influence that you've had. Tell me about maybe your favorite event that you've done in your, I know you do a lot of them through, the Bone. What's your favorite one you've ever done?
Man, honestly, like one of my favorites, one of the first ones I ever worked on when I worked in Fort Lauderdale, we did a big anniversary concert celebration thing. And I'd never been a part of anything like that before. And the guy from Herman's Hermits, they're this band from the 60s. And let's see, do you guys know who I'm talking about, Herman's Hermits?
No, I've never heard of them.
Okay. So anyway, they're this legendary band from the 60s, and I got to meet those guys, and I thought, wow, this is really neat, and the dude, the singer, he was Peter Noon is his name, and I sang songs, Henry VIII, I Am, Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter, Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good. Anyway, it was really neat to meet him and see how bubbly and happy he was, and it was nothing like I thought like you would see with a rock star or anything. He wasn't like, half tipsy and, craziness all around him. He was just a nice guy. He was glad
stuck
to
up
be
in
there.
the air.
Big smiles and everything. British guy. All through my radio career, if I meet or interview a British rock star, it don't matter. They're always so polite. It's neat. You get like, see the singer for Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson, one of the nicest, most polite people ever. I had to make him wait for a commercial to end. And I felt bad. I'm like, man, Mr. Dickinson, I got to wait for this commercial to be over. It'll be about 40 seconds. He's just like, oh, very well, mate. I'm like, are you kidding? So, yeah.
That is awesome.
The British rock stars are the most like laid back and nice and, anything you can imagine. Events since I've been here in Poplar Bluff, we've had so many neat things that we've done. We started a show in the summertime for some of our local and area bands called Bone Stock. And we did that for 10 years. And it was neat because what we did, we got to do a local thing, and we involved a lot of our local businesses, and we got to have a lot of fun and raise money for a lot of charities, because that's what we did every summer. Like, we would do it to raise money for charities. So we've raised money for everything from the Veterans Memorial Wall here in Poplar Bluff to the Animal Welfare Alliance to the Ozark Family Resource Agency to Haven House to there's like so many different local charities that we raise money for. The Boys and Girls Club was one of them too. The Rogers Theater, like so many different things that we did. But, something else, and I haven't shared this with a lot of people, but I always looked at Bone Stock as a ministry tool as well. And here is why. A lot of people look at that like, a bunch of people drinking and, it's wild party and there are rock bands doing rock and roll things. And every year I did that, I made sure that I had a Christian band play every single year. One year I had two. And it's neat. One of my favorite pictures from that era, there was a band from around the St. Louis area called A Lesser Hope. And I don't think they're together anymore, but they were a Christian band, but they were really heavy, like really heavy.
Yeah.
And
I remember listening to him there.
There's a picture of those guys in a circle hugging and praying before they went on stage. And I got that picture somewhere. I thought that's really, really cool. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know. There was a Christian band called One Way Out. I love those guys. They're from the Campbell area.
Yeah, the Ebbs Boys.
They're still playing it too. They're awesome. They were playing, and it was a great song. It was a Christian song, with lyrics about loving Jesus, and people are just jamming out, having a great time to it. There's a few hands going up too, and a security guard looked over at me and goes, half of these people aren't sure, but the other half get it. These guys are singing about God. I'm like, yeah. Let them listen. Let them like it. Who knows? That's
right. You guys also do like a big event every year for St. Jude, right?
Yeah. I started working on St. Jude radiothons when I worked in West Plains. So it was around 95, 96 when I first started doing those. And we've been doing them every year. Here in Poplar Bluff, since we've been doing it, we've raised around $2 million for St. Jude, which is awesome. And we can't do that without, our listeners, people who call in and say, yes, I'm going to partner up with you guys and give $20 a month and make sure that place is open, because it's amazing that a lot of the people, there's a lot of patients in our area, in our listening area that are St. Jude patients, cancer survivors because of St. Jude. So, don't get me started, man. I'll go into radiothon mode. We'll be here a while.
Hey,
I'll give
that's
the
all right.
number and the link and all of that, I love
do
it.
That's fine with me. Let's do it. I mean, I'm good with it. That's a wonderful ministry, and they may not see it as a ministry, but that's exactly what that is. I mean, these people need.
That's something that's something I've noticed through the years, that they're a ministry. There's an opportunity for ministry anywhere, anytime, no matter where you are, no matter what it is. Like we've said, it's about those relationships and ministry tools. It's all right there in front of us every day. I mean, you guys know that every day there's ministry opportunity. So the Radiothon is incredible, man. We have our Radiothon coming up again, April 27th and 28th. It's that last Thursday and Friday in April. So we're gearing up for that already. It's going to be a good one this year.
That's awesome. You guys have like a goal that you're looking to meet?
No, we never say that. We never. Unofficially, we may have one, but officially, no. We just want to get started and make as much money as we can for St. Jude, so they'll have more than what they get. I always say, whatever we make, that's what we were supposed to make that year.
That's right.
So I'm never disappointed. We do what we can. Right. We do what we can, man. It's all.
Man, it's cool. It is cool, and it's cool to see it. There'll be events out or whatever, and I'll be driving down the road, and look, there's Randy there, and there's the Bone vehicle, and stuff, and I'll see you out everywhere.
Yeah, that's great, man. We get a lot of opportunity to, our station, the Bone, and our country station, Clear 94. We're both 100,000 watt radio stations, so you can get us up near Farmington, as far north, all the way south to Memphis. We can pick us up down there, and to the east and to the west, as far really far out. So we've got a lot of coverage, and it's neat, that we can go out and about to these different areas, to different states, to all these different places, to events and businesses, and try to help businesses do better. And that's the goal there, to help businesses grow and do better in events, have more people, and that's what it's all about.
That's amazing. So what's your favorite person? I know you talked a little bit about meeting some of the other guys. Since you've been here in Poplar Bluff, what's your favorite, maybe famous person, or maybe it's just an individual favorite person that you've met?
Famous person? Let's see. here in Bluff, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. I got to meet him and Harley Race, both of them at the same time. It was really cool. Because I'm an old school wrestling fan too, from back in the day. No, let's see. The guys in Shinedown and Hailstorm. It was neat to get to meet Hailstorm because they were an up and coming rock band and they were big fans of the radio station. They said, we listen to it all day. We love it. They autographed a picture for me and said that we love the Bone and stuff. People like that. There's a lot of the rock stars were nice that come through here.
Hey, Randy.
Steve
here. Hey, you actually had Zach Williams back before he was big at Bone Stock a couple of times, right?
Yeah, several
I remember
times.
Seeing him out there.
There's a story about when he decided that he was going to turn his attention to writing Christian music and go that route. The band that Zach Williams and the Reformation, they were on a tour overseas, and then they were on a bus traveling, and they were skimming through radio stations, and they came up on a Christian song that was playing, and Zach was like, hang on, I think I know that song. And I'm trying to remember the name. It was a Toby Mac song. But anyway, before they left to go on that trip, they played a show for us. They were going to play at that Bone Stock that year. I think it was Bone Stock 8. And they couldn't make it because they had to go on this tour. But they played the announcement party we did at Maya's here in Poplar Bluff. So they were out on the patio playing. And that was the last time I saw him before they went overseas and stuff. And I still keep in touch with him a little bit from time to time. It's so cool to see, since he, and it's all about faith. It's all about faith. It's all about, he gave up his whole career, his whole life, everything. He said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And, I'm just going to praise you. And it's worked out for him really well. Won a lot of Grammys.
Yeah, God's
absolutely.
Well,
I remember working security out there at Bone Stock and hearing him. I stopped what I was doing and turned around. I was like, who is that guy? And I didn't know who he was. From Adam, I didn't know who he was. But then hearing the story, I think he might have told it to me, that one you just told. And then going on to see that he's made it, pretty good in the music business, like you said, with Grammys and stuff. I was just, that caught my attention that day. That's one of the things I remember about working out there.
And also I heard another story too. Some people in the Christian music industry were talking about, there was a convention for up and coming or brand new signed Christian artists. And then when Zach came up and sang, when he that voice came across, everyone in the room stopped and turned and paid attention, because he's just got one of those voices, man.
He does.
You know it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just fun to listen to. Yeah.
He's like the Chris Stapleton of Christian music. That voice.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got that voice that sets him apart from everybody else. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool relationship that you've built there with, and seeing the progression of his music career in the Christian industry. I'm gonna be real honest with you, I didn't even realize that he had played at Bone Stock.
Yeah.
And I probably heard him and didn't realize, because I've been to quite a few of them, and then see the progression of where he's at today and how the Lord has honored him, and then the fact that you were there in the beginning, he was there at your Bone Stock, kind of thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I always knew that he was one of that band was one of my favorites in this area that I met, unsigned artists and stuff. And it was weird. If you listen to some of that older music from his band, Zach Williams and the Reformation, now and then you can hear, an inspirational lyric or something like that. I turned to my wife one day, this was before all that happened, and I said, if he decided to do a Christian song, I think it would do really well. I think he's one of those, because every now and then you'll hear a secular artist and you'll say, man, I wish they would take that talent and knock it out of the park for the Lord, and
yes,
and do an inspirational album or a Christian album. But
yeah. One of my I've got a favorite band or one of my favorite bands that kind of did the same thing, Memphis Mayfire.
Yeah.
And they've kind of taken that Matty Mullins, the lead singer of that, he's got a worship album, and man, just to hear that and the transition between the two of them, and I'm sure you're familiar with them because they're a big rock band, and that's definitely up your genre, and man, it's cool to see bands do that and it just knock it out of the park like that.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Well, Randy, man, thank you for taking the time and being on here. It was wonderful to hear your testimony and what God has done through your life and what God's going to do through your life and through your ministry that you have there at The Bone. And I just speak blessing over that and an anointing over your life. And I thank you very much for taking the time to be on here.
Well, thank you guys for having me. And, if let's all just be bold and be have that kind of faith, have that kind of Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego faith. Have that,
Amen.
Have that kind of faith where you just know that you know every time we go to do something, every time we think about doing something, let's all just have that kind of faith this year and not hesitate. And all of us just encourage one another. I love this show. I appreciate you guys being on. This encourages me and gives me faith to want to keep doing what I do. Every now and then we need encouragement. We need somebody around us to say, you're doing okay, keep it up and all of that. So I try to do that for people on the air every day. So
I'll just say this, you're an inspiration, man. You're an inspiration for what you do every day.
Yes, I agree.
appreciate you all. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you.
Well, we love you too. And so, as listeners, if you've got any questions, if you've got any concerns, you can email us, realmen@palaceofpraise.com. Maybe you want to know how to get connected up with The Bone. Before I completely close out, Randy, do you have any plugs? You got any plugs that you want to, maybe for The Bone or for the we just talked about it. The
St. Jude Radiothon.
Yeah, the St. Jude.
Let me make sure. Let's see. It is the 27th and 28th of April. That's when our St. Jude Radiothon is coming up. So just be ready for that, and we'll be talking about that more. Plus, Z95thebone.net is our website. You can follow us on Instagram, too. Follow me, Randy Bailey, Z95 on the Insta. I do a little bit of that too. So try to keep up. Technology, I try, man. I'm a 53-year-old guy. Grumpy old man. What am I going to do?
Well, man, again, thank you very much. So there you are, listeners. You got your plug. Check them out. Follow Randy. And, you can find Real Men Talk on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, through Real Men Ministries, Real Men Talk. If you got any, if you've got any prayer requests, any prayer for, you got any just questions, you just need, or you just want to chill out, you just want to talk, holler at us. And as always, I want to end in a prayer. Holy Spirit, teach us to be leaders of our homes, of our communities, and of our churches. And teach us to be godly, courageous men. In Jesus' name, amen.
You've been listening to Real Men Talk, brought to you by Palace of Praise Church in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. If you would like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email, realmen@palaceofpraise.com, or visit our website at palaceofpraise.com. If you're a man age 16 and up and would like to be a part of the conversation, join us at the Palace of Praise every Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. If you don't have a home church, consider joining us for worship on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. Palace of Praise is located at 1400 Herschel Best Boulevard in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. New episodes of Real Men Talk drop every Thursday at 5 p.m. You can find us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, Amazon, and more. Real Men Talk is a production of Palace Media Service.
Real Men Talk has been brought to you this week by RLP Construction in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. For commercial contracting of all types, see RLP Construction today. And by the Jeweler's Bench in Poplar Bluff. They are your one-stop shop for all your fine jewelry needs. They also do in-house repair and are your Citizen Watch dealer. Make sure to thank our sponsors for bringing you Real Men Talk.
If you want to join in the conversation, join us on Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. We gather with other like-minded Christian brothers to discuss hard-hitting topics that affect men on a daily basis and use a biblical approach to overcome common strongholds that affect our families. We show men the importance of being the spiritual leader of their home and what it means to be a real man in the eyes of Christ. Join us at the Palace of Praise, located at 1400 Herschel Best Boulevard in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. We meet in room 400 every Thursday. Come be a part of the discussion.